Hi everyone, it's Booney. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and give this video a like. You'll get content updates on things related to archetypes, neurodiversity, mental health conversations, and geeky interests. I'm going to make a very quick video about autism and hypermobility. So hypermobility is when the joints are extra stretchy, extra mobile, extra flexible, and there is also pain in your joints. So almost 20 years ago, when I was 23, I started having problems with my feet. When I was walking, my toes would dislocate. And so I'd have to pop them back in. I'd have to hit them really hard to pop them back in, or I'd wait. I just have to stand there and wait until the pain went away. And so I went to the doctor. And told them about this. And, and my thumbs would dislocate too. I decided to make this video because for the last 2 mornings, I would wake up with my thumbs dislocated and I'd have to bang them back in and it would be very, very painful. And so it reminded me of this 2-decade struggle of having a doctor believe me. I'm still having a hard time getting a diagnosis or any compassionate medical professional who believes what's going on. And so I think it's important to talk about these stories and these lived experiences and the correlations and redefined definition of what autism actually is. And so in the DSM, there's this or in the general population, there's this misunderstanding that it's a social communication disorder. Disability and disorder. I'm going to say it's that. And at the same time, there's all this neurological stuff and body things that go on that's affecting the lived experiences and the livelihoods and just the wellness, your quality of life when things are just different. Because when the brain is different, most likely the body is going to be experiencing things different too. So if there's this hypermobility going on where your joints are popping, you're being too flexible where it leads to pain. I know a lot of people can have their shoulders dislocate, their hips are dislocating, your knee pops and you have to pop it back in. If it happens chronically over time, imagine how painful someone's life is. So my hypermobility is not severe. I don't think it is. At the same time, it's caused me great pain and feeling like I am going crazy because no one believes me for many years, 20 years. I've stopped going to the doctor because I don't believe that anyone can help me. And so I make this video in retrospect because of how far along the neurodiversity affirmative movement has come. There's so many people who have been affirmed to self-advocate, to research, to feel like there's more knowledge available. And I think 20 years ago, I wouldn't have that, right? So 20 years ago, I went to the doctor. I even told loved ones that I'm having a hard time walking. My joints are popping. My toes are coming out of their sockets. I can't walk. And then instead of having compassion, they would laugh at me or yell at me why are you making excuses for not wanting to walk? I'm it's this bizarre thing that on the outside, people can see you as fully able-bodied and healthy. And when you say something's wrong or painful in your body, they want to yell at you or put you down and make you feel bad for already being in pain. It's really weird. You have your own stuff going on. You're projecting I guess you have a struggle. Life is hard for you too, but because someone else is being vulnerable and sharing their struggle, now you're getting upset at them for already being in pain in the first place. Make it make sense. So I went to the doctor and I told him about my joints and the popping, and he was like, "Can you come back when the fingers are dislocated so I can see?" I'm like, "Why can't you just believe me?" And I was desperate. I was like, "Please, can you give me something?" I was really in pain because it was continually popping out of my toes. I'm not going to run over when my toes are dislocated just to show you, it's this weird world of medical professionalism where they don't believe a client. They don't believe that a client is in pain or a patient is in pain. You have to jump through hoops to prove that you're struggling, or they wait until you're in stage 4 cancer to finally believe and run some tests. I don't understand why it works like that. It's not about prevention. It's not about believing someone and like kind of like tell me more what's going on. It's like they're shady. They want medication. They want to do drugs. These little druggies or whatever it is. Like, oh, they're hypochondriacs or whatever it is. Like you want to, or they're borderline making stuff up. Like whatever it is, to anything outside the scope of actually, oh, they were struggling and they have a medical concern. Let me explore this with my patient. So weird. Okay, so like I can say this now with some lightheartedness because my health is better, but if you talked to me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, broken human being. My health was so poor, let myself go because no medical professional believed me. I was gaslit over and over again. The one doctor I was begging for help, he gave me some exercises to do. He's like, just exercise more. So he didn't address the complaint that I had that my toes were dislocating, my fingers were dislocating, that I had pain when I was walking, and I had some bumps on my feet already, which I know now are these nodules for arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. So I could have had that checked on 20 years ago. But because the doctor was like, I'm too young, just exercise, I've had to suffer for 20 fucking years. Okay, so like, now that I'm in a better headspace, I can say these things. But if I were to make a video about this, again, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, complete puddle of a person, falling apart, victim mindset, because I was victimized. I was not listened to. I was gaslit over and over again by many doctors. The last doctor that I went to before quarantine, before COVID, I had the same concerns. This time the inflammation was worse in my joints. I had even more bumps on my body. And I told this doctor, I thought she would believe me because she was an Asian woman. She laughed when I told her. And then I looked at her straight serious, like, I can't believe you fucking just laughed at me. And she's like, oh, well, maybe we can do something and maybe we can run some tests. But, like, I didn't go back to her after that because how can I trust a doctor who just laughed in my face when I was honest and vulnerable? It was years, too, after going to the other doctor and being dismissed. And so, like, this is my encouragement for you to keep looking for a doctor. I know it's hard. I've been there. I know how hard it is to have a doctor even just believe you in the first place, like to even just listen to your concerns, to like take these breaks, have the sanity checks from friends and support groups, online spaces who have also been not believed, because I know it's a trend for many doctors and medical professionals to dismiss the experiences of women of color. They just don't believe us. And sooner or later, hopefully, crossing my fingers for you, that you'll find the doctor who will finally listen to you so you can heal your body and not feel like you're going crazy because these things aren't being believed. But while you're doing that too, I do encourage continually to research. Knowledge has always been my belief of empowering yourself. It's the resource, it's the ultimate tool. And listening to other people's stories so you know how to use this information in the right ways. Because sometimes there's these doctors who will feel like, oh, the client or the patient came in thinking they know it all. Like, you know what? After 20 years of not being believed, I'm going to know it all. I'm going to know what my body is going through and all the things that doctors have done and didn't do because they didn't believe me. You know, and self-advocacy and just being firm in your experiences when you're explaining something, and then having these articles and learning the terminology, because unfortunately, right now, when so many doctors don't believe you, this is what we have to do. We have to research. We have to come prepared to talk about what's going on, or else you're going to continue to suffer. And for some of us, unfortunately, it's too late. A lot of us have to be the martyrs and die because the doctors didn't believe us, and it's too late. And that makes me so sad. And for parts of my life, I would have given up and not cared because they never did believe me. And so, but now that, again, the health and wellness of my own person is a little bit stronger, I can be okay with like stepping up and advocating, no, this is actually what's going on. This is the symptoms. This is how often it happens. It happens when this happens, like being able to describe seriously, matter-of-factly, maybe documentation over time too. This really helps because, I don't know, our healthcare systems they just want a band-aid and send us away like we're done. But a lot of us are struggling because these are very new terms still: hypermobility, inflammation, joint pain, correlations with rheumatoid arthritis and other conditions that are related to the immune system, right? Flare-ups, things like that. I'm not going to mention all of them, but I will put it in the description so you can explore. And I won't have everything. It's just because I'm still learning the terminology and learning how to continue to advocate for myself and explain these things. So I'm just sharing because I think that stories are important. And you don't have to be like the PhD medical professional doctor to talk about these things, because here's a little secret. Probably not a secret now, but a lot of therapists, a lot of doctors don't know about this new research, all the correlations related to what the autistic experience or the neurodivergent experience actually is. And so when we're able to empower ourselves by contributing to the knowledge base of all these helping professionals, we all win. We all can update ourselves together, where more people can feel like their voice matters and they can actually explain what's going on. Because if you don't have the language to explain what's going on, no one can figure it out with you, you know? And so when more people share with the language that's currently in the spaces right now, we can build off of that and then build our own, our own dictionary of how this actually is happening and what to do outside of the medical spaces, because this is a life thing. It's not just you go to the doctor and they're going to put a Band-Aid or fix it and give you medication. This is how we have to navigate the rest of our lives with these conditions. They're multiple. It's not just a neurological social communication thing. It affects the whole body. And once you understand that, it's the game changer, that you can now find ways to have a better quality of life because we have the access to information. So thanks for watching, everyone. And I hope that if you are struggling with some of these conditions, that you have hope that you can advocate for yourself or have other people help speak for you. One day can help empower the community, that more people speak up, because these experiences are real and they matter. It's just sometimes we don't believe, that we can be heard. So I believe that you can be heard. Just give yourself that time, rest and recover. And then when you're ready, speak up and advocate for yourself. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye.